Hello, everyone. I'm in tremendous pain. But it's in your best interest to call me Billy the Kid. So, Lionel came out with a new catalog. It's the Volume 2 catalog. So sit back while I hold you at gunpoint and let's get this unhinged show on the road. So, Lionel released, if you don't know Lionel, they do, Volume 1 catalog. It's usually called the Big Book in January. And then they release a Volume 2 in July. Although last year when it came to the different the various the whatever you want to call them, the various tariffs going on, not knowing what they were doing. They kind of released, as you can see here, they had a July release, September and October release, so. But we're going to go through this together in my most unhinged way. Of course, still it's America 250, so there's going to be a lot of 250 stuff. Yes, the Lennies, the second annual Lenny. Listen, I don't ask for much from you guys. I don't. But how funny would it be if I got nominated for a Lenny Award and I won? Let's rig the ballots. Let's rig it so that way I win. And I'll go there. I'll make Ryan Kunkel do the thug shaker or something. I don't know. And I'm gonna spike the reward into the ground, like it's the Super Bowl. So vote for me on that, or don't. But you should vote for me, because I think that'd be very funny. Just making everybody there uncomfortable. They're gonna be like, "Who the hell is this Billy the Kid jerk off? Why is he spiking the reward? What is the thug shaker?" Everyone's going to be confused and probably horrified. It might end in me getting a restraining order. So there's always that. Anyways, so here we've got a table of contents. Of course, we're going to start off with the 250, America 250. So let's look at what we have here. Okay, so America 250. Reading and Northern Legacy SD42s. They have the normal ones, 1776. That's the cab number. A lot of these cab numbers, I think, are going to be 1776 for obvious reasons. But 750 for the SD40-2. And then you have a non-powered SD40-2, not shown, for $450, so $300 less for a non-powered version. It doesn't say if the non-powered version has like lights and sound or smoke. I don't know if it's just like literally like essentially a boxcar. If it's that case, I don't think $450 is a great price. If it was like literally just a it didn't have any motors, but it had, lights, it had some sound and a smoke unit, I think that'd be kind of cool. But I don't know. They don't show it here. The Wheeling and Lake Erie one, that's actually not a bad looking one. I do like that one. These are both kind of nice designs. I know the 250 stuff is kind of like, America only turns 250 years old once, after this, I'm never going to use it again. Well, I don't know about that. Personally, if you are thinking, in about a year, you're not going to want it, maybe don't order it. But, so what if it's, 250 only comes around once ever? I like them. I'll get into what I do want to get. what I've ordered, what I've already ordered, and what I'm going to order. So over here we have Canadian National. I do like that they have the American flag in the correct orientation. For those who don't know, the reversed American flag here, the field of blue is supposed to face forward at all times. Otherwise, it looks like the flag is retreating. So, and you have that over here with this other Canadian National. I like the eagle on here. That's cool. That's cool. And you kind of have like a little camo pattern going here on the front here of this one with the big flag on there. I kind of prefer this one over this one if I was to get these. These are ES44s. It's a normal diesel. It's your run-of-the-mill diesel. Kind of hard to mess those up. And again, these have a non-powered version for 500, and the regular version is 850 MSRP. By the way, when I'm talking about like the prices in the catalog, this is MSRP. At your local train store, you might have a bit of a discount. Like generally like a 10% discount. That's just them, trying to. That's what they do. And then you got an N8 caboose, Reading and Northern. It doesn't look that bad. It's not really my thing. $180 though. For you got hidden tabs, which are nice. Detailed interior with figures. Illuminated interior with marker lights or marker lamps. Oh, 31. Minimum curve for these ES44s is 060. Whereas the minimum curve for these SD40-2s is 054. I don't know. And you got the K-Matic Pilot for closer coupling on curves. So, like, the Pilot itself will kind of will swing a bit more as opposed to being, like, just on the truck alone. So there's a bit of a swing to the Pilot to, like, this part here. It's not just directly coupled to the Pilot. It's not like the Pilot and the front truck here are just one single thing. There's a pivot point for the Pilot itself on the front truck. We got more locomotives. CPKC. It's not bad. I like that you got the little 250 logo right here. And again, you got the American flag in the correct orientation on this side, so that's nice. And it's the ET44s. Listen, I don't know why so many people love the ET44s. I'm a Steam guy, alright? I'm a Steam guy. I have no idea why people are, like, nutting themselves over the ET44s, over the ES44s. To me, they look the same. There's probably a difference. If you're a diesel guy, please yell at me in the comments. I will say, though, it doesn't look that bad. Like, is there really a difference, though? No, because, like, the fuel tank is kind of the same. I guess the stuff up top here is different. But, we got the We the People over here. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Not my thing. I think there's a little too much red. I would have much preferred, something like what the UP has right here with this nice flowing American flag. Of course, you get the little, what's this called? The eagle there. The little seal of the United States there. That's cool. 45, 47. Oh, it's the Donald J. Trump on the side here. I didn't even know that. Alright. Now, the BNSF ET44. Now, this one actually looks really cool. I do like this one. I'm not a Burlington Northern Santa Fe guy. I'm gonna keep it a $150 with you guys. I am not a big fan of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, mainly because I have a grudge against the head Warren Buffett. I'm not a Warren Buffett fan. So, yeah, but you know what? They did good with this. I like it. You got the 250 little logo right there. You got the United States seal there. And you got the fast letterings, the speed letterings. I like that. So then, you got your bay window caboose. Yeah, it's 150, 180 bucks for this. It's kind of pricey though. LED interior illuminated and flashing rear end lights. If you have a bay window caboose, it's basically the same as this. I have a couple of MTH bay window cabooses, and personally, I like those a little bit more. Oh wait, no, these have diecast trucks with rotating bearing caps. So the little bearing caps here, those rotate. Easy conversion to scale wheels or couplers, not included. Separately applied details. And I guess you got a little figure there. That's cool. And then you got your lighted flagpole. I might get that. It's not bad. I have a little flagpole with the 250 on there. For 45 bucks, that's not bad. Plug and play, some assembly required. Illuminated lights on the base of the flagpole. 2 flags on a heavy string. I don't mind this. Okay, we got some Norfolk Southern stuff. Alright, let's see what we got here. I like the one with the red, the Liberty Bell one. Again, 1776. Again, the non-powered ones. These are SD70 Aces. Again, I'm not a diesel guy, so again, I look at a diesel, I'm like, oh, that's a diesel, all right. That's about it. That's my knowledge of diesels. But if you are a diesel person and you know the difference between the ES44, ET44, SD70 Mag, SD70 Ace, SD70 whatevers, then yell at me in the comments section. But I do like the flowing colors here, the red, white, and blue here that's flowing, the Liberty Bell. I do like that. Then, of course, you got the cab number 2026. Again, you kind of have this flowing color, the flowing red, white, and blue here with the Statue of Liberty. And then, again, you have another one, and this one's a blue one, so you have red, blue, and I want to say gray, but I guess it's not white exactly. It's gray. And you've got a bit of a blue nose there, so that's nice. You got a little bit of blue on the nose. And again, you have that same flowing red, white, and blue stripe, I guess you can call it, down the center of the locomotive with an eagle. I like that. So then you have the ES44AC over here. We got the red nose one with the star, and of course the red, white, and blue American flag eagle. And you got the little 250 over here. And I like that these are all kind of the like over here on the SD70 Aces. They all three have the America 250 logo right here. The gray, I wish the body of the gray was a bit darker, because this kind of blends in, like the America 250 here. The best one that stands out are going to be obviously the red and blue. Better contrast. So then we have Norfolk Southern, another one, 8118. It's the blue nose one with, some stars, and America 250, the big America 250 right here. And then the red back. Not bad. Again, I'm not a diesel guy, so sorry about that. That's my little issue with that. Then you have Norfolk Southern, another ES44 AC, 8143. It's a gray front with some stars, and the horse, the Norfolk Southern horse, as an American flag, I guess motif would be the word. And then you get the America 250 logo right up here. I like that. And same thing with up here. Surprised this one. Well, I guess because it's right here. You don't have that. All right. American Freedom Train. So, this is obviously a fantasy paint scheme for the Big Boy 4014. American Freedom Train Vision Big Boy 4014. Here you got the Eagle Ornament on the front, although, and we'll get to that when we get to the Big Boy section of the catalog. You have the Eagle Ornament, but, you know, I kind of like that they did a nice job on it. It does look good. And they also made an auxiliary water tender for this version. Although the flag is not oriented correct. Bit of a nitpick there. The flag should be reversed. That's just me. But, you know, what can you do about it? But, I do like the blue front on that. You know, I have to say, the blue front of the Big Boy right here, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad as a blue. And you got some white railing there with some black, and you got the elephant ears. The elephant ears, I'm aware, are removable. So that's kind of cool. But again, I know a lot of people don't like fantasy paint schemes. I'm kind of 50-50 on them. Like, if they look good, they look good. If they don't, they don't. But this has the oil tender, does not have the coal load. So this is a what if paint scheme if, you know, they were to ever do the American Freedom Train like they did 50 years ago when the GS4, the Sun Pacific GS4 4449 pulled it. And that was painted similar to this as the American Freedom Train. So then you have your water tender, so you can get a water tender similar to that. You also have some flat cars here, which are cool. There's no load on them. Movable bridge plates, that's what these things are. Separately applied details, schematic operating couplers. It's not bad. Not bad. Although $170 for a flat car, I think that's kind of a lot. You know, $550 for a water tender. If I'm not mistaken, hold on. I know this is a Lionel catalog review, but we'll deal with it later. But I'm pretty sure Third and Townsend's Sunset Models, they're doing both of the, what's it called, the water tenders for, yeah, see, Golden Gate Depot, Union Pacific Excursion Auxiliary Fuel and Water Tenders. They're a bit pricier because they're going to be brass, if I'm not mistaken. Right, these are going to be brass. I think they're brass. Yeah, so $600 each for the set. It's, oh no, die-cast bodies, detailed underbody, brass details throughout. Okay. So yeah, the body itself is going to be die-cast. Alright, well, I don't know. Personally, it's got rail sounds. So the reason why these are like $550 each is because it's got legacy control. So you can actually pair this with this. So essentially, like, if you're going to run like two locomotives with each other, right? Like, say, an A and a B and an A, you would set up a train. So that way, alright, the coupler, when you hit the rear coupler, it actually hits the rear of the A unit on the back, not the A unit at the front, like the furthest A unit. So if you were to pair this with this and you hit the rear coupler, it's the actual rear coupler. Oh, maybe this is the back. Maybe I'm just being stupid. But maybe this is actually the back view of the water tender. I would have to see it in person, but I'm guessing that is because that actually looks like the electrocoupler. But you do have freight sounds in motion, fuel and service dialogue sequences when stopped, rear electrocoupler, directional headlight. So, like, if you were to pair this with this and set it up on your legacy remote or your app, this would essentially be the rear of the train of your locomotive, essentially. So when you hit the rear coupler, it wouldn't hit the rear coupler of the tender on the locomotive. It would hit the rear coupler of the auxiliary tender. So keep that in mind. More stuff. The Atlantics. $1,000. It's not bad. I mean, it's kind of too blue in my. In this gold, I'm worried this gold's going to turn out to be garbage. But I do like the little American flag on the steam chest right here. That's kind of cool on the cylinder here. But those are little Atlantics. We'll get to those. And I do like the little flags here. That's nice. Now, you do actually have some new features. You have the swinging bell. So you have a normal smoke unit. You have whistle steam. And you have the swinging bell. So that's actually really cool. You know, because it's a little locomotive. It's a tiny little Atlantic. Compared to, you know, something like a Big Boy or something like, you know, a Hudson. Where, you know, you can fit all those electronics in there. You can't really do that in this kind of small little configuration. But that's really cool. So if you like the Atlantics, if you want to get this one, it's $1,000. And now we have the Station Sounds Diner, USA Wood Station Sounds Diner, Madison, for $450. New tooling. You could tell it's new tooling because of the windows and stuff. It's kind of pricey for one car, even though it does have sound. Not my thing. And then you have your A, B, and C pack for the woodside passenger cars or the wood passenger cars. These are apparently all new products. You know, I just don't see the value. I mean, $500 per pack. So if you wanted to get all, you know, both or all three packs, A, B, and C, that's $1,500 MSRP. And then if you want the Wood Sounds Diner car or the Station Sounds Diner car, it's now like $1,950. It's kind of a lot, but molded plastic interior with figures, die-cast metal sprung trucks, easy conversion to scale couplers. I personally don't care about scale couplers. I don't give two shits about scale couplers. I am not changing much. The only time I would change a coupler to a scale coupler is like the front of like an F diesel, like an F series diesel. That's the only time. That's just me. But again, if you like them, you like them. Personally, I don't think the price justifies it. And again, you know, it's not like Sunset Models or Golden Gate Depot where, you know, the interiors are painted. I feel like the interior is going to be kind of lackluster. Celebrating the bicentennials, so we got some more stuff. GP18s. These are new, I guess. GP18s. Missouri Pacific. These are actually really nice looking. I'm liking these. So yeah, this is 50 years ago. I'm liking the art on it. I wonder if this blue is going to be a little too dark. But I like it. You got Burlington Northern U30C. That's a new one. It's not bad. Spirit of 1776. It's not bad. Again, the flag is oriented correctly, so that's nice. You got the seal right here, and you got the little nose on there. You got the stripes on the nose. American colloided 40-foot plug door boxcar. I probably butchered that to shit. You got Southern Pacific. That's surprising. And then you got your bicentennial Chicago Northwestern and Western Pacific trailers. They look alright. Kind of pricey for literally a chunk of plastic, though. For 2 chunks of plastic. Yeah, $110 for 2 trailers. I don't know how I feel about that. The Milwaukee Road Bicentennial. Okay, so here's the Milwaukee Road Legacy S3. Yes, the S3 is coming back, folks. Now, this is obviously not 261. And when we go to the S3s, I actually have a picture of an S3 that was not in the catalog, but has been announced. So you got the Milwaukee Road. It's not bad looking. I like that they got the Milwaukee Road on the steam chest here and on the front here. The front pilot of the S3 is always beautiful to look at. I love it. And now it's got safety steam. So you have cylinder steam, safety valve steam, and regular smoke. I think this is supposed to be whistle steam. I don't know why there's like all of a sudden just a spattering of smoke here. I think that's a little weird, personally. But $1,800 MSRP for a Milwaukee Road S3. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Then you got the aluminum packs, aluminum cars. This one is the Sky Dome, I believe it is, they call it. I think in real life it's called the Sky Dome. I don't know the actual name. I'm not an expert on Milwaukee Road's equipment. But I do know that the actual car is still around and can be chartered. So, that's nice. $1,400 for the 4-pack. Not bad. I have the Hiawatha. I only have the 4-pack for the Hiawatha that I have. The Little Atlantic. And that was good. By the way, the observation car on that was like a sound car, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that in my little review. I might have to do a whole new review on that. You got Station Sounds Diner, which, who cares? I mean, I like that it's aluminum, but the Station Sounds Diner, if you ask me, is not really the best thing out there. I feel like it's overdone. That's just me. Like the clickety-clack sound is kind of nice, having it spread out. Like if you have like a couple of sound cars that do that, it kind of adds and if you're like me and you're literally running on the plywood, which when I expand my layout, I will not be running on plywood anymore. My next set of boards that I'm going to extend the layout on are going to have Homosote. So that'll be fun. So it'll be very loud and then it'll get quiet. So, 10, you got 7 cars total. The 2-pack aluminum cars, which I think is a much better deal. You got like the Sky Dome, I think. I forget if this is the Sky Dome or I know this is probably the Sky Dome. But you got a 2-pack here. You got the full dome and just another passenger car for $700. I honestly think this is better than this. Like the Station Out Designer, the only good thing you get out of it is sound. And honestly, do people really use like their legacy remote to kind of do all the sounds with the Station Sounds Diner? I don't. In fact, actually, when I had my New York Central, I sold those passenger cars, by the way, because I'm actually getting the Golden Gate Depot passenger cars, which are a much better, nicer looking set of passenger cars. The Station on Diner was just more of an annoyance because it takes up a spot in the Legacy remote. It's like, I don't know. And also, the Station Sounds Diner, it came with it came with two diners, right? One of them was the sound car and the other didn't have sound. But it still had the actual place where you could put a soundboard. So I don't know. I felt like I kind of got ripped off. This is way back in the day. Patriotic Lion Chief and Lion Chief 2.0, or Lion Chief Plus 2.0 engines. These are alright. Got your Mikado here. Conrail. If you're a Conrail, I'm a Conrail middle grounder. Or what did I say in Joker Stream? Disliker? I don't really care for Conrail. It's not my thing. You know what I just realized? This kind of looks like an eagle. You know, it's got, here's the beak. Here's the head, the beak. And, you know, it's kind of nice. I guess this is supposed to be an eagle, but, I don't know, it kind of looks like a weird dinosaur. A dinosaur that's going fast. But, this is a nice, simple, like the Conrail, as much crap as I'm giving Conrail, this isn't bad. This isn't a bad paint scheme. And neither is the Reading and Northern here. The Grand Trunk, The Illinois Central Gulf, I like it because it looks like an eagle, okay? The Mikado is alright. And Independence boxcars, so, I mean, if you like collecting them, you know, $150 or $115 for a car. I think these are reverse. So, yeah, this is one side, this is the other. So, $115 per boxcar. Green Mountain Boys. Not bad. Got General Washington here. Printed and assembled in the United States. Yeah, not bad. Not my thing, but, you know, not bad either. You got more. And these are Ode 27 boxcars. Patrick Henry. You got the Betsy Ross card. The Betsy Ross car. And the Molly Pitcher. Not bad. Not bad. We got more. Yeah, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina. These are just states. Rhode Island, North Carolina, New York. That's where I'm from. Virginia, New Hampshire. I guess these are the 13 colonies. These are supposed to be the 13 colonies. These are only $110. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they don't have all of them? Well, that's dumb. That's a little disappointing. Alright, so now we're on the big boy. So here's the big boy I'm going to get. It is the Union Pacific Tour Edition big boy. That was terrible. You know, it's got the eagle on the front right here, and it's got the big boy logo. I know I'm disappointing everybody. I said I wasn't ever going to buy a big boy. Well, I lied. I'm buying a big boy whenever it's supposed to come out. Oh, here they are. So, okay, so you can get these water tenders. Normal price is $550, but you can get them with no electronics. Although this is Jim Adams and this is the Joe Jordan. Okay, so yeah, they both have a version with no electronics not shown. But those are about $400 each. So if you don't care for the electronics, as far as I'm aware, the Golden Gate Depot ones aren't going to have electronics in them. I'm not sure exactly, but I don't think they're going to have electronics in them. You know, because the body itself is going to be die-cast. Yes, the detailing is going to be more exquisite. I get it. You know, that's what you can do with brass. But $400, you know, $800 for both of these compared to 1,200. I don't know, man. Of course, you got smoke lifters on this one, 4014 with smoke lifters. I think at one point it had smoke lifters. And of course, you got your bay window caboose. Okay, so like this actually runs with it. Okay. Not bad. Here's some more. You got the hot dog. I personally don't really care for it. I mean, you know, I shouldn't say I don't care for it. I don't mind it. 4418 is the hot dog, and I believe, or the 4049, the 49er paint scheme. And you got your aux tender right here. Big Boy 4004 is a coal tender one. So the coal tender, actually, the coal load goes down. It's actually a rubberized piece of coal, and it goes down slowly over time. The hot dog one has that too. And of course, you have the Lionel Lines version. The only time. The weird thing is, there was this. I forget the club. I think it was in Wyoming. Near like the UP shops. And they actually got Lionel Lines to be put on for 844. Like instead of Union Pacific, they got a placard and put it on, and it said Lionel Lines. So I kind of wish they would do that again, just to be silly. But I know that Lionel actually did that at one point. They actually modeled that where, you know, you had like another, like a piece of brass or a piece of metal, and there was magnets in the tender, and you could put the Lionel Lines like road name over the UP road name. Of course, you got your Lionel Lines Legacy water tender here, and then you got the pilot version. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't understand the reason for having these. I don't get them. Period. I mean, yeah, it's cool to see all the like the intricate detailing and all that, because you know once it's painted, you know there's some detail you just can't see. You know, like all this add-on brass and stuff. Yeah, it's cool, but I don't know. It's just not me. I just think it's kind of silly, and it's almost $3,000. But then again, that's because it's got the tender. So the tender ones are about $100 more. So if you want the coal version, then there you go. I just realized this says GP40-2 for Vision Line. That's pretty funny. The Milwaukee Road S3s. The S3. So here it is. We got the 261 Excursion aluminum pack. Of course, you got your Station Sounds Diner. You got your 2-pack and you got the 4-pack. We saw this already with the red, white, and blue one. So this is the gloss version. Now there is one that hasn't been in the catalog, and it's this one. This is the America 250 one. So here it says, you know, you got the America 250 logo over here. You got your Milwaukee Road with the stars over here. You got this little bit up here, and you got Freedom over here on the dome. This is the one I'm gonna get, and I mean, for you know, $15.75, it's not bad. I know this is Train World, and some people don't like Train World. I get that, but they've never done me wrong. But the cool thing is, like I said, this has the cylinder steam, but it also now has safety steam. It's the pop off valves. So that's cool. You got one that's more inspired of the Hiawathas. So you have the gray Hiawatha, and you have the more gray and black Hiawatha. I like them, but again, I want to get the one that I want. Um, but if you like your fantasy paint schemes or what if paint schemes, this is the way to go, I guess. And then you got the yellow one. I guess this is like more UP yellow. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Not my thing. It's a little too yellow for me. I probably would get these confused with Union Pacific a lot. But honestly, for a yellow locomotive, it doesn't look bad. But yeah, for a yellow locomotive, not bad. I do like that you got Milwaukee Road over here. You got the Milwaukee Road over here. And again, the S3 has probably one of the best looking pilots out there. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. Probably the only thing I'll ever get from them. And of course, you got your more matte paint scheme. This is the S2 inspired livery. Get another S3. This is the glossier version. Working Mars light. That's nice. Russian decapods. So, Russian decapods. Honestly, I'm not a huge decapod person. I really don't see anything I want here. These are different. So, but for $1,300, it's not bad. $1,300 is not bad for a decapod. Again, none of these are really road names I care about. But, I do like the Susquehanna one with the Russian iron boiler. That's kind of cool. And then the Missouri Pacific with the doghouse on the front here, or the back on the tender here. But, for $1,300, you're getting a legacy, remote, or you're getting a legacy locomotive. Standard features, swinging bell, whistle steam, and it runs on smaller curves. Apparently this runs on 031 curves, so you're getting a swinging bell and whistle steam and the regular smokestack smoke. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool for $1,300, MSRP of course. So like depending on what train store you go to, maybe it's like I don't know. Maybe 1,200, 1,150 maybe. Who knows? All right, E6 Atlantics. So we got a Strasbourg one. Yay, Strasbourg. This green looks awful. I'm not gonna lie. This looks bad. And maybe that's just the rendering, but oh, it looks bad. But for $1,000, not bad. And again, you got whistle steam. You got swinging bell now and the regular smokestack. So yeah, for $1,000, you can get a pretty nice looking locomotive. The only problem I see with this is this right here. The Pennsylvania name. Listen, I'd rather have a sister work for a whorehouse than a brother who works for the Pennsylvania Railroad. And that's a hill I'm going to die on. And, God forbid, luckily I don't have a sister, period. But if I had a sister work for the Pennsylvania Railroad, I'd say she's working for a whorehouse to not embarrass myself. Right? Like, let's be real, folks. Man. Can you imagine how unhinged that would be? Just go up to your sister and be like, "You, ma'am, are working for the Pennsylvania Railroad. I would appreciate it if you worked for that whorehouse over there." But if you're a Pennsylvania Railroad guy, you got your E6. Although Lionel's not great with green. I believe RJ said that it was like every year the Tuscan green is like different, a different shade. I don't know, Lionel, you got to work on that. But this, I do not like this. The all green, I think, is weird. It's got to have a little bit of red in there. But the Strasbourg one doesn't look that bad. I like the little detail around the tender and all that. And it's got a little bit of color in there, too. A little bit of red to offset all the green. And I'm a guy who likes the color green. And now we got the Station Sounds Diner. So we got the Lee Brennan, or Brenner. You got the 2000s version and the 1990s version. Again, it's new tooling, but for $450, not really my thing. Pennsylvania Limited. Again, so $500 per pack. There's a 3-pack. Very green. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Great Northern. Not bad. Oh, this is an oil tender, too. Not bad. Again, I like the little frill over here. Although I'm not going to buy this. But, so there you go. You got your Great Northern version here. I'd love to see a Long Island one, though. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Pennsylvania Railroad leased some E6 Atlantics to the Long Island Railroad. I think that's what RJ said. More Atlantics. Rock Island. Not bad. Again, not bad, not bad. I do like the Blue L... What does that say? Sub-inline. So it's been redesigned, is basically what they're saying. Alright, you got Rock Island, you got Chicago and Northwestern. Somebody's gonna fucking kill me for that. You got New York Central. Ooh. It's not bad. I like that there's just this random white coach right here. I kind of find that silly. Although I don't like this little curtain thing here being red. It just blends in. It looks weird. Then you got your diner. So, like, these coaches are all going to be the same price. Union Pacific. Alright, you got a Vanderbilt tender. Who the fuck is... Some asshole on Discord is jonesing me. I mean, I like the Vanderbilt tender here. That's kind of cool. It's nice. Why does this look so weird up here? The headlight. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being paranoid and weird. Alright, CSX Heritage. We got Georgia Legacy, Georgia Railroad. We got L&N. PR Marquette. Not bad. Seaboard and Manon, or I don't even know what that is. More ES44 ACs, Norfolk Southern. We got Altoona, we got Chicago. Some more SD70 Aces. We got a bay window caboose. All right, not too bad. We're gonna just power through the rest of this. Delaware and Hudson. You know, I always liked the Delaware and Hudson diesel color scheme. Burlington, London, Santa Fe, UP, more UP, QNSL. KCS de Mexico. 200th anniversary. So I guess this is also like a Mexican part. I guess because they do a lot of traveling between the United States and Mexico. The KCS. That's nice. So you got your freight here. All right. You get 2 legacy diesels. That's interesting. Okay. Get some beer cars with some graffiti on them. Oh no, this is just one with graffiti on both sides. Not bad. How much do they want for $2,000? I mean, all right. So set includes 2 legacy SD70 Aces, a fuel tender, which is what I guess this is. They say fuel tender, so I'm assuming that's what this is. It just says Burlington Northern Santa Fe 50-foot tank car. So I guess this is your fuel tender. That's interesting. Covered hoppers, insulated beer boxcar, a 50-foot tank, and this one with the plug door with the end of train device. Okay, so here are the U30Cs. So we got Burlington Northern, we got Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy. We got Sioux line. Union Pacific, Louisville and Nashville. Department of Transportation. Huh. That's weird. Legacy CSX. That's nice. It's a new diesel. They're $750. They're not terrible. I'm not gonna shit on it. And then you got a coal train. Detroit Edison coal train set. So here we have feature set or individually. So you got your coal, you got your engine. So that includes the U33C. So this is a U33C, not a U30C. And 8 gondolas with removable loads. These are rotary gondolas and a working EOT on the last gondola. You know what annoys me? I just realized this. These have the removable coal loads, but my N&W King coal set did not come with coal loads, period. Removable or non-removable. Actually, how much is that? $1,400. That's not terrible. So if you want some coal loads, or if you want, just, what is this, 8 gondolas, 8 rotary gondolas, $1,400 plus you get a locomotive. Probably not the worst thing in the world. SD40-2s. You got Santa Fe, Conrail. Conrail we don't really care about over here. GATX, MKT, Rock Island, Seaboard Systems. Boston and Maine. GP18s. These are GP18s. So East Penn Railroad. Illinois Central, Susquehanna, Norfolk Southern. I like these little locomotives. These are nice. So for $675, it's not bad. I mean, there's nothing really here that I want, but not the worst thing. You got your S4 little diesels. Kind of pricey, I would assume. I would say they're kind of pricey. Although they'd come with fixed pilots. But it's also a single motor drive system. Whereas I think these are 2 motors, if I'm not mistaken. I think these are dual motors. I'm not sure. But these are single. UP, Seaboard, New York Central. That's not bad looking. Boston and Maine. I do like the little red on here with the Boston and Maine. C&O, and then Milwaukee Road. We got some milk cars, $150 for milk cars. Atlantic and Pacific, Central Vermont, Chicago Northwestern, Missouri Pacific, Seaboard, and Sioux lines. You got your beer cars, Conrail, LLBX, Graffiti beer car. All right. Cotton Bell beer car, Burlington Northern, Union Pacific, Santa Fe. Red is extremely bright. You got your bay window caboose. Yeah, the Erie's not bad looking. I like the Erie. New York Central Road to the Future. That's kind of cool. Not $180 cool, but cool. PS-2CDs. Santa Fe Central, whatever this is. Central Soya. Erie Lackawanna. Norfolk and Western. Milwaukee Road. Gulf Mobile in Ohio. Alright. 50-foot tank cars. So we got some tank cars here. Hooker Chemicals. For a 3-part. So these are $110 each. And $330 per. I don't know about that. 50-foot boxcars. This is line scale. Is this line scale? Okay, these are line scale. So this is O scale. So this is line scale. The weathered rail box. I like the little stupid thing here. I like these two. These two boxcars that are like weathered to an extent. Not bad. American Colloidal. Got a little Jaguar on there. I think that's a Jaguar. Whoop. Woodside Reefers. Again, nothing I really want. Standard rolling stock for O scale. You got your working EOT included with 2 packs. So you got your 2 packs, I guess. You got your 2-pack and a 4-pack, so you can get 6 cars total. If you just want the cars alone. Norfolk Southern Rotary. Not bad. Not bad. Then you got your diners, Royal Blue, Wood. You got New York Central, all that. Canadian National aluminums. And then you got your Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western Skytop Lounge. Skytop. The Trippy Train Skytop Lounge. So, yeah, you got your Trippy Train one. That actually might be cool to see. I want to see that in person before I would ever buy it. Line Chief Steam. Alright, we got Line Chief. Motorized TMCC. I like the mob one, the gangster one. Inspection vehicle. You got Lionel Lines, Hot Rod, Police / Dry Agent, and then Railroad Police. Got military, so you got the missile launcher vehicle. U.S. Army Transportation Corps welding car. You got the military general inspection vehicle. Ballast dump. Area 51. Okay, so this, I gotta say, the sounds illuminated for the Star Wars Death Star one, $350. Are you nuts? Jesus. We got New Republic, we got Imperial, got some billboards, Kyber crystals. Alright, and this is like, I guess, inspired from a post-war inspired Santa set. Not bad. American Defense, GP-38, get the missile car. I think they used to sell like the Minutemen car, and then there was like a balloon of some sort. I don't know. I remember there was like a balloon of some sort and you're supposed to hit the balloon with the missile. We got Looney Tunes, you know, you got your Acme. $300 though for the spherical tank, I think is a little nuts. Plug and play, limited exterior, separately applied railings and pipe, detailed ladders. I don't see any sound, so that's kind of nuts. Wings of Angels. Halloween. We got a Halloween Station Sounds Diner, as well as this. And is that a decapod? Honestly, it ain't that bad. I mean, it's not my thing, but not terrible, I guess. And Polar Express, of course. I do like they actually have a Polar Express, what's it called? Water tender. It's not bad. You know, I always joke that, you know, they're going to eventually make like a Polar Express big boy, and, well, here it is. You know, they listen, if people wonder why they make these, it's because it sells. It actually sells. Christmas, this is far too expensive for my taste, but yeah, they made a tender for this one too. Another Atlantic. Alright, we're going to start wrapping it up here. We're just busting through this. A spherical tank, $280. What are you smoking? You got your magic shop here. That's $350. Never mind. Although I do like the AC or AEC. That's kind of cool. And that is it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know at the end we kind of like had to speed through it, but it is what it is. Alright, hope you guys have a good time. Later.